So welcome back. We've got the remnants of Hurricane Barrel. We're holding on for dear life, trying to find the largest distillery that I've never known in my entire life. This thing is so huge. What are you doing here? How many gallons is this? Monstrosity!
250 gallons.
250 gallons.
Yeah.
Looks like copper pot. Yep. The other side here, that looks like a cooling tower.
Yep.
So it's a jacketed cooling tower.
Yes.
For people who don't know how cooling works, there's a couple of different ways that you can cool with a worm tub, which is just a giant tub of water with coils going around in circles, and then you're just running the distillate through that. Essentially, the jacket over here is doing the same thing. You're going to still have water. Is your
right,
water your coolant?
Water's running through it and cooling the steam off to a liquid, and comes out. Yes.
So you can also use glycol refrigerant in the water as well to get a cooler temperature. Are you doing that?
No, it's just water.
Just strange water?
Yep.
Straight water. I said strange water.
I heard that.
I heard that too.
I went along with it. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. Like,
every once in a while you misspeak. But so basically, you take that beer that's been fermented without hops.
Right.
You said that most likely it's going to be either Devil's Backbone or the Real Heavy. Are those components distilled separately?
Yes, they are distilled separately.
So you would distill the Real Heavy on one run, you'd distill the Devil's Backbone on another run, and you would actually barrel those separately as well?
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to be barreling up Devil's Backbone next, like here pretty soon, like tomorrow.
So how long have we actually been distilling here at this location?
10 years.
10 years now. That seems to be the lucky number for everybody these days.
Right?
Yeah. Everybody's in that 15 to yesterday mode. We were over at Wilson Valley Mercantile, and they started in 2020.
Okay.
But most of the ones in this area are around that 10-year mark. Across the street at Milam and Green, I think they were a little bit earlier when they started off as Ben Milam. So this is still a relatively young, what do we call it, industry here in Texas. And yeah, we've got 53-gallon barrels. Looks like you've got these already full, or are these just being hydrated?
They're being hydrated right now.
So hydrating a barrel is essentially making sure that it's watertight.
Yep.
Are you doing anything special to make sure that these barrels are doing what you want them to do?
I fill them up with water and hope they don't leak. And they're not leaking look, they were leaking a little bit this morning, but they look pretty good now.
Yeah, I've also seen them run water over top of them.
Oh yeah, I'll spray them down too. Yeah,
cool. And these are all new oak barrels.
Yes, yeah, American white oak.
So this is so you're putting your malt into new oak barrels.
Yes.
And have you used oak as well, or used barrels?
Yeah, we do.
What type of used barrels have you used?
Just our same barrels.
Okay.
Just rotate them.
Rotate them
every now and then. We'll fill some up.
Okay. Have you done any wine cask finishes?
Yeah, we've done a port wine, and we did a one of Andalusia with their Striker, I believe it was, and then we've done Balcones, like their what was it? It was how was it called? It was like their it's like the rum that they make.
Oh, okay. There was Prohibida, which was a smoked rum. They used the single malt barrel.
It was like fig and I think the damn name of it.
Oh,
I think they're making it though.
It's you're thinking of. I got Jerkum in my head from Crowded Barrel. What's the name of that?
I wasn't on the spot. I probably could tell you.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to look that one up.
Name is totally slipped my mind, but yeah, we did one with them. Yeah.
Cool. Now the air conditioning in here is really good.
It's called Rumble.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We knew what that was. You're exactly right. That one is figs and honey, and I think those are wildflowers in that.
I think so.
Yeah. So it's a really cool product. But yeah, Balcones is shifting more heavily into corn and single malt on the production side. So there are going to be some narrowing when you've got too many things out there. You can sort of lose touch with everything that you're doing. So every once in a while, you got to consolidate, figure out what you're really doing, and figure out what works and what sells. I've also been really surprised because sometimes people will put out something that you know, they thought this was what they were going to be making, and it was one side project that ends up derailing the whole thing, and that becomes the main thing that they're selling. So yeah, this is a strange business to be in, because the consumer, as much as the maker, can dictate what it is that you're going to be making next year.
Correct. Yeah, sure can.
Cool. You have some barrel storage somewhere around here?
Yeah, the rick house. It took the rick house out.
Cool.
There you go. Rick house. Full of barrels.
So Aaron, I think you have us over a barrel. That's for you, James. Yeah. So we're over at, you're calling this your rick house. This is barrel storage. You're using shipping containers for storing and aging your product. The temperature inside of these in the summertime must climb really, really high.
Well, we have like the old whirly birds on the top, and then these filters or vents on the side. So it stays kind of at the same temperature all the time. Doesn't really get too crazy hot. I mean, it does get hot in there, but it's not like as hot as you think it would be, like a shipping container that's not ventilated.
So in Texas, we have temperature swings in the summer and in the winter daily that can be 30 to 40 degree temperature swings. We can go down to 70, 80 degrees. Probably this evening we'll probably hit 85, but in the daytime we can go up to 100 and 105 degrees in the daytime. So that is what is actually creating the movement into and out of the wood to bring color. So when the spirit goes into these barrels, what color is it, James?
It's as clear as the sky.
Yep. So we're going to, all of the color is essentially being that extraction from the wood. And you can actually see it on the side of the barrel here, where it's starting to seep through. You're getting a little bit more color. This here gummy stuff is actually whiskey bleeding through the pores, and some of that wood resin is going to be tied up in there as well. You can also tell how old the barrels are as you're going along. So as they're aging and that moisture is seeping in and out, the color of these oak barrels changes. So even starting off with new oak, you know, it only takes a couple of years for these things to turn color.
Right.
So how old is some of the oldest product in here?
We have, I think there's a few barrels that are like 10 years old that are in here. And we're going to have some project with them, just letting them hang out.
So are you frightened with the 10-year age statement?
A little bit, maybe. It could be real oaky. You may want to try to, you know, blend that in with some other stuff that's not 10 years old, but
so this is one of the challenges that a lot of distillers have is when you've got really old barrels, there's a lot of evaporation and absorption into the wood, and you can actually use that older barrel as a flavoring agent into some younger barrels.
Correct.
And create a batch, as long as you're not saying the younger stuff is as old as the older stuff. You're limited to the number of years. I think we're doing straight as a designation on the real spirits. It's like straight whiskey.
Yeah, it is.
So straight whiskey is generally 2 to 4 years essentially, but it could be older, especially if you're adding in those older components to add more complexity to a younger spirit.
Right. But our sweet spot's like about 3 to 4 years are what we have found that is pretty good.
Yeah, and that's actually what I'm seeing in a lot of Texas spirits. That three-year age statement is pretty well the sweet spot. A little bit older, you're starting to get a lot more wood tannins. But I've also seen over at Garrison some older products that end up costing a lot of money because there isn't much left in the barrel.
Yeah, right. Start off with like a 53-gallon barrel, and you have like 25 gallons by the time you get to it.
Yeah. So have you had problems with leakage?
No, not really.
So this product is all going to be different types of barrels of different types of brewing, and you've got marks on the side of these.
Right.
What's your little coding that you're using?
So like the PHW is Phoenix whiskey. It's like the Phoenix. So like eventually Phoenix was going to be a 5-year whiskey. So we released a 3, a 4, and then now we're going to do a 5, which will be the next release of Phoenix. And then it'll be 5 years from then on.
Cool. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So getting up to that 5-year age statement, and it's going to be continuously 5 years after you get to that age
Correct.
statement.
So it'll just be one barrel, but like eventually, yeah, you'll get 4 barrels at 5 years. So we'll have a nice amount of bottles in a couple more years. We'll have it'll be at the 5-year.
So is this entire Rickhouse Phoenix, or are there other?
It's mixed. Devil's Backbone, real heavy. There's our wheat whiskey, corn, rye. I mean, pretty much everything we do is in here, and then in the other rick house.
Now, I saw you brought your brass knuckles with you.
Yep. So we can pop something open. You can go check out the other rick house. There's some other stuff in there we can check out.
This is the tool,
Yeah, whiskey thief.
but it looks a little bit more like brass knuckles. Now, you were saying that was made by somebody here?
Yeah, Davin made that. Like, took a bunch of some brass pieces and put it together, and instead of having to buy one, made one.
Yeah, and you were saying that I can't use that as a cane because...
No, unfortunately, I don't believe you could.
If it was big enough, I'll have to talk to Davin. Maybe he can make me one.
A little longer.
So what barrel do you think is interesting going on in here?
Let's check something out.
So this is the Devil's Backbone?
Yeah, and it's about almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October.
What type of beer is Devil's Backbone considered? Is it an IPA?
No, it's a Belgian triple.
A Belgian triple.
Yes.
Cool, so a little bit higher alcohol content.
Correct.
How many years do you think this is?
It was 10, 9, 19, 19. So, almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years old.
We'll get more.
Dribble, dribble. Ooh, that is sweet.
Got some more glasses right here if we need them too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
You know.
Yeah. We're not taking you to the next place, you know that now.
Oh.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. You'll get through it.
This'll help, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whee! Corey, we got whiskey.
Everybody got theirs?
Yeah, everybody got some. One for Corey.
I might as well. Cameraman should have a drink, right?
Of course. Perfect.
He can have the fuller one. I'll take the smaller one.
Whiskey. Cheers. Now, coming straight out of the barrel, this is not adulterated at all.
No.
So the alcohol, especially with it being, I think it's like 90 some degrees out right now.
Probably.
So not only is the alcohol warm, it's also a very high proof. In my experience, probably going to be around 120 proof.
Yeah. I think it's like 117, but it's pretty close.
Cool. So we got to get back past that alcohol and see what it is that we're actually smelling and tasting here.
Nice, like caramel, kind of like those baking spices, like kind of like eggnog, kind of. Minus the cream.
But there is a sweet cream on the palate, and the baking spices are not as pronounced as you would think.
Right.
It's a toffee type of, it's more like the hard toffee that you get that you have to actually snap, that type of toffee.
Okay, Heath Bar kind of has that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Maybe.
more like See, I'm coming from Nova Scotia in Canada. There's something called Macintosh toffee, and it's just it's closer to yeah. So it's got a buttery quality to it as well. So it's like butterscotch, but it's more of a toffee. But yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, those baking spices are really present on the nose.
But yeah, they're not really like on the flavor. It's more like on the aroma. Wow, it's starting to open up now. But wow, that alcohol, the fumes, you get in there too deep trying to dig, you're going to burn some nose hairs. Burns your nose, yeah. Kind of makes your eyes water.
I'm trying to recover right now.
So Aaron, thank you very much for allowing us to come here and visit. James, it's great to have a friend along doing a distillery tour. And Corey behind the camera for filming all of this and hauling all the equipment. And we really appreciate everything that you guys do here at Real Spirits. And if you're in Blanco, Texas, come on out, check out Real Ale, Real Spirits. They got some really good product, and you're not going to dislike anything that they're doing here, because we love you guys.
Well, thanks guys for coming out.
Thank you.
Have a good time.